Hi everyone, I'm Shauna and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm bringing you something that is just really fun and hopefully something that will allow us to chat a bit in the comments. I'm going to be ranking all of the MAC products that I own. I own products in 8 different categories, so I'm going to be ranking the product category itself 1 through 8, and then I'm going to be talking about the individual products within that category if I own multiple, and I'll talk about what I really love, what are my favorites, and in that category, like what's at the top, and also which ones I like the least if there are any. But I feel like that's going to be more of this is what I love in this category the most. I do want to say before we begin that this video is ultimately to provide inspiration. I find that MAC is a really slept on brand and a lot of people have forgotten about MAC and that these products often kind of fall into the back of people's drawers, the back of their collection. So I really hope that this inspires you to reach for those products if they've kind of fallen by the wayside in your own collection. My intention behind this video is not to suggest anybody go out and buy anything. This is purely what I own and what I love. These are the products that I happen to own from MAC. And yes, I really just want to emphasize that this is in no way intended to endorse anybody to go shopping or spending their money on MAC products. I just would really love if this inspired you to pull out your own MAC products and maybe do your own ranking. I would really love to know how your ranking of MAC products vary from mine. I think that'd be really interesting. And this is just one way for me to get to know my collection just a little bit better. So let's start with number 8. I really like everything I own from MAC, and actually there's a lot of things that I love and quite a few things probably could be moved around this list. And this was so hard. So this is how I feel about MAC in February of 2021. The product at the bottom of the list, product number 8, is the MAC Double Gleam Highlighter. I do enjoy this and I'm glad it's in my collection, and I do find that it like rounds things out. I don't own a lot of highlighters, nor have I tried very many in my makeup life. I never actually wore highlighter until about 2017. I did not like it as a product, and I got a Becca highlighter in this sample kit. I didn't purchase it. I didn't get that kit for the Becca product, and I didn't even use that Becca highlighter for like the first 6 months to the year of owning that product. So I do want to say that my experience with highlighter in particular is not strong. I'm not the most well-versed on highlighters and formulas and things like that. The reason why this is number 8 is because this is probably the only product I would not repurchase. And I also, this formula doesn't excite me enough to potentially buy one in another color or even like look at that product range to be like, what else might they have? Because I like the formula so much. I think this formula is good, but not great. I find this particular formula to be more on the glittery side, and I hope that you'll be able to see in the swatches what I'm talking about with this. It is also maybe, I don't want to say chalky, but it is a little bit on the chalkier side. I think that there are formulas that are more smooth and like seamless with blending. And it does kind of, I don't know if chalky is the right word, but there's something about this that looks like a little bit dry and like not as blendable as other formulas that I have. So I do like this, but because this is the only product in here that doesn't like excite me to look at other things in that particular collection or line of products, this one is at the bottom. Number 7 surprised the heck out of me, and it is the mascara. This is the MAC in Extreme Dimension Lash. I love this. If this was a drugstore mascara, I would repurchase it. This would have been the next mascara I went to go and rebuy. I really love the wand. I love a rubber bristle brush. That's my favorite kind. I really like the flexibility that those kinds of wands give you. If this came in a sample, I would definitely use it and get that as a sample, or as I wouldn't with this if it was another shade. And if this was on sale, I would repurchase it. I really, really, really loved it when I used it. This is a product I loved with a capital L. It kind of pains me to put it as low as I did. The only reason why it's as low as it is because I generally will not buy a higher end mascara full price. I would only ever buy those on sale. And so if you wouldn't buy it in its condition kind of as is, I think that says a lot. But that's just the category of mascara in general. But I can say I loved this, but liked this. So this one's placement is definitely a little bit, it's a particular circumstance. Number 6 on the list are the lip liners. I do really like these, and I have them in 3 colors. I have them in Whirl, Strip Down, and Spice. I like Strip Down the most, followed by Spice, and then Whirl. I do really like these, but this is, again, another product category and the last product category on this list where I don't have a ton of experience with different lip liner formulas. I've heard a lot of people call these dry. I would say, yeah, that can definitely be the case, but I do really like the colors, especially Stripped Down. I don't know, I feel like it's unique. And I think one of the things about MAC lip liners is that they pair nicely with their lipsticks. And so you can buy the accompanying lip liner for the specific lipstick that you bought in the collection as well. I just think that this comes in so many colors and they have quite an extensive range. I like this, and I like these enough where in the hypothetical world, right, where I lose all my makeup, all brands are perfect, I would definitely go and check out MAC liners because I do like them, and I would repurchase and consider buying more of these liners. Number 5 are the blushes. I love these. I truly do. Everything here on out, I would use the word love to describe my feelings about the product. I have the blushes in the shades Mocha, Melba, and then Warm Soul. I love Melba the most. It's really peachy and I feel like more unique to my collection. Mocha feels like a standard kind of run-of-the-mill mauve blush. And then Warm Soul I like the least, only because it's like a shimmer and it feels more like a cross between a blush and a bronzer. I'm not sure if you can see that, but they're swatches anyways. And I don't love a shimmer blush on me as much as I used to. I feel like the base color of Warm Soul is Melba with like an additional layer of some pink in there and then like gold shimmer. So I like this one more and I like this one less, but this is just more of a matter of my preferences have changed since I bought this product. The MAC blushes, in my opinion, are a really like good hearty blush. Okay, I feel like a hearty is the wrong word. I mean in the sense that these are the blushes that are like the workhorses of my collection. They're like the everyday blush. They go with everything and the formula is just strong. It's a really good blush formula. You can build them up or you can sheer them out, and I think that there's also a ton of colors in the formula. It's just so good. I really, really like these blushes, and I would absolutely consider buying more blushes in this formula. This is the second time I've said that I would consider buying this thing. When I say that, I really just mean that, like, yeah, I have like 13 blushes. Do I really need more? No. So I don't need a blush and I wouldn't buy one right now. But if I did need a blush or I was looking for blush into some reason, this is a formula I would investigate further. Just wanted to clarify that. The reason why this particular product is not higher is because one, there are product categories I like maybe a little bit more, but I do love a blush. I really, really do. And I struggle with the position between this one and the next one. But I think that now, like in 2021, it's not so difficult to formulate a good blush formula. I think that there are a lot of brands that do this really well. I do tend to like higher end blush formulas better, mostly because I feel like personally they have a higher staying power, and higher end blush formulas or blush lines tend to be more exhaustive in the sense that they just have more shades than drugstore blushes. And I find more unique shades in higher end formulas. And as far as MAC goes, they're on the lower end of like that Sephora range price point. My own preferences tend to skew higher end for blushes, for the colors, and also for staying power. That's not to say that there are no good drugstore blush formulas out there, but I think that this really encapsulates my own interest in blush, like what I like. And these formulas, I feel like, are so underrated. I'm not even sure why I bought MAC blushes to begin with, like why that was the product category I went specifically looking for on the MAC website back in 2019 when I bought them. But I'm so glad that I did, because they're so good. Nobody talks about them really. I feel like if someone's gonna talk about MAC, it's gonna be the lipsticks or the eyeshadows. This formula is, I think, just great. And I could easily see this higher on the list because I really, really like the products. And these are products that I could just own these two blushes and be like basically set for the whole year, like in terms of the colors and formulas. Now, am I that kind of person? No, but I think that they're just that strong. Number 4, and this one was really hard, is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. Do I like blush more than concealer? Yes, and that's kind of why I want to rank it higher. However, this is the best concealer in my collection at the moment. So that, I mean, is important. Like I love this concealer with a capital L. I love it. And I reach for this concealer over others. Like if I had every concealer at my disposal, I would constantly reach for this one. But I do not like the applicator. It gets messy. I don't want to have to pump it out, put it on my hand, and then, you know, put it on my face or on my under eye. I don't like that. And the pump is kind of finicky. Like I don't want to, a full pump is too much. So I have to be really particular about it. And ultimately, concealer is not a product I care about. Like I don't get excited about concealer in the same way that I get excited about like a great blush or a great lipstick. But you need a good concealer for the foundation of any look. And every concealer creases on me. There's not a single one that doesn't. But this one, I feel like when you set it, I feel confident that that's going to be the look that I get for the rest of the day. And there's very little movement after that. So I think this is a solid product and I really like it. Number 3, again, products that I love are the eyeshadows. I own 5 colors. The swatches will be on the screen. The 5 colors I have are Naked Lunch. It is this like kind of sheer little pink color. I don't know why I said little pink. I have Kid, and then I also have Malt. Those two are really close. I'll highlight them more in just a second. And then I have Woodwinked and Sable. Woodwinked and Sable, again, are like, they're similar, but they're different enough. They're different kind of shades of brown. One's more bronze, one's more like chocolatey brown. As for these two shades, this one here is Malt and this one here is Kid. Malt is a little bit more pink and then Kid is a little bit more beige, but the formulas on these are really different. I find Malt to be much more powdery and Kid to be really smooth, like weirdly smooth. And I think my favorite color out of all of these would be Naked Lunch. I really, really love Naked Lunch with Malt. Like that is just a look, and I've been at asked in videos what I'm wearing when I'm wearing that combination. That's often what it is. And I actually find it funny when anybody asks what kind of eyeshadow I'm wearing, because I always feel like my application is just like mediocre. And also I find it difficult to even tell what kind of eyeshadow I'm wearing with my glasses, because I have hooded eyes and then like the glasses are in front of it. So that's just an eye combination that I love. I really, really, really love these shadows. And this is a number 3 product for a couple of reasons. One, the formulas are good. And number 2, MAC has such a good shade range for their eyeshadows. They have so many to pick from, and you can get them in little singles, and they're fairly affordable, especially for a higher end brand. There are a lot more indie brands that have popped up that are giving companies like MAC and their eyeshadows a run for their money. There are many more indie brands, and I think that there's a void in the market that are being filled by those kinds of brands. These brands that are doing really great things with like glitters and duochromes and kind of having like fun, like poppy kinds of colors and really unique and interesting formulas. I associate with MAC the kind of like everyday eyeshadows that like you would wear to work. And I feel like they do those really well. I don't mean that you like can't get an editorial look from MAC or a fun shade. I know like they have blues and greens and purples, but I most closely associate MAC shadows with those like everyday kind of workhorse, like wear to work kinds of shades. And I think they do that really well. And I personally feel like their eyeshadow like collection, the shades that they sell is one of the largest shade ranges on the market. Like they have so many available and they are tried and true. Like you can look up so many videos to find reviews of just about any kind of MAC shade. I feel like they've stood the test of time, but I think a lot of people would feel differently. Like I think my take on MAC shadows is different than a lot of people because I found them much later in life. Like I found them last year. No, 2019. The first time I ever tried a MAC shadow, where I feel like MAC's like heyday was like 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I think that because there are so many newer brands who are doing like newer innovative things with their eyeshadows, the MAC ones have kind of fallen off the wayside. But I feel like their formula is just like, it's good. And that like gets them through the day. But I don't know if very many people would agree with my take on MAC shadows. Number 2 are my MAC lipsticks. I have 6, I actually think I have 7. I dropped Velvet Teddy somewhere and I cannot find it, but I don't know where she is. So I have 6 shades. I have Patisserie, Hug Me, Half and Half, Blankety, Modesty, and Love You Back. My 2 favorite shades are Blankety. What a beauty. It's hot in here, so like the lipsticks are sweating. Blankety, and again, they're swatches. And Love You Back. I really, really love both of those colors. So Love You Back, Blankety. Can we? I don't know if we can see that. Let's do, I said I wouldn't swatch, but I'm swatching. This one right here is Love You Back, and this one right here is Blankety. I love them. I really like the color of Hug Me, but that shade doesn't perform in the way that I once thought. I thought it was going to be more hydrating than it is. So like I like the color, but the formula was a little bit of a letdown. And I really like these lipsticks. They have so many shades of lipsticks, and I feel like their range is exhaustive. It has to be one of the more exhaustive ranges on the market, one of the biggest on the market. And they have shades for, I feel like everybody, for your skin tone, like your undertone, as well as like the depth of your skin color. I think that they have done some really great formulas as well. I think it's a really solid lipstick. I have 1 matte, I have 2 lustres, 2 amplified, and 1 cream sheen. And I think that they're all really nice. Even if there's one formula you don't like, there are others out there, and they have so many, at least I feel like so many to choose from. Number 1, is, I think, gonna shock some people. The Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. I have it in the shade NC13. It's a little bit more yellow than my own skin tone. I feel like if it was just like a tad bit more neutral, it would be perfect. I do have yellow undertones in my skin, but not quite this strong. The reason why this is number one is because this has become my favorite foundation. It has knocked the 3-year winner of that title, the Catrice foundation. That's been my favorite since discovering it in 2018. It is not Catrice off the podium. I love this foundation. I think that it looks really beautiful on my skin and it sets down pretty nicely. It really mixes well with others. All the foundations I've mixed it with so far, it looks great. I think I really just love the way this looks on my skin. And it comes in a ton of different shades. And I feel like out there, if you're like, yeah, I'm an NC30, I'm an NC15, like that means something to people. This is great. It doesn't have a pump, which is actually fine with me. Pumps are not recyclable. So that's basically the reason why it doesn't bug me. And I love it. And in my opinion, a lot of companies can do a good eyeshadow, can do a good lipstick, and there are lots of good formulas out there on the market. And I don't just own MAC lipsticks for a reason. Like, I like exploring other formulas. When you find a foundation that works for you, that's not as easy. A good foundation and a good match that's not a dime a dozen, that can take a long time to really find. And MAC does also have different foundation formulas, and I feel like a pretty good shade range. So I'm very happy that this guy came into my life. I guess that I bought it. Anyways, that's the ranking. Those are all the MAC products that I own. You've seen them all here. Let me know how you would rank your MAC products, because I feel like there's just a lot to say. And I think that a lot of people are gonna have a lot of different feelings about MAC products. So thank you so much for watching and watching this video, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.